Good morning, students. We have been continuing with our topic of Workmen Compensation Act 1923. In the last two sessions, we have discussed about the content of the syllabus, and in the last session, we have discussed these 2 points of doctrine of assumed risk and doctrine of common employment. So, these doctrines, as you know, were put forward as defenses by the employer in order to deny paying compensation to the workmen. Now, in this Act of 1923, we study these doctrines in order to understand the real situation prior to 1923, where a hapless worker was denied his rightful compensation because of sustaining some kind of injury or occupational disease, contracting some kind of occupational disease, or even death case. So the employer were very unscrupulous, यानी कि वो किसी भी हालत में वर्कर को compensation देना नहीं चाहते. So that's why this Workmen Compensation Act 1923 was made in order to ensure that under these conditions, if the workman is getting injured or death case or contracting disease, he would be paid. It is compulsory to pay compensation. So this act ensures this thing. So out of the 4 doctrines, we have done the first 2, doctrine of assumed risk, doctrine of common employment. Now coming to doctrine of contributory negligence, which means a workman is not entitled to compensation for injury which has been caused to him by his own negligence. यहाँ पे मैंने रेड से इसलिए मार्क किया हुआ है. Now this doctrine is a little step ahead. बाकी doctrine से भी आगे है. Where the employer is saying that if you have got injured or even in death case, why we should pay compensation? Because it was this injury, you got it by your own negligence. Contributory negligence का मतलब है तुम्हारी गलती थी तो तुम भुगतो, हमसे क्यों पैसे मांगते हो? So it is a kind of situation. The employer never wanted to give compensation, and this defense was also put forward by the employer for not paying compensation to the workmen. कि भाई it was your fault, you contributed in your negligence, and because of that negligence, आपकी गलती की वजह से आपको चोट लगी है, तो compensation employer क्यों देगा? So this kind of argument was put forward in order to deny paying compensation to the workmen. I think it is clear. Now, 4th one says, end of personal action with death. Now, this last one is the worst one. It says personal action died with the death of the workman concerned, and hence the dependent of the deceased were not entitled to claim any compensation. ये बड़ा अजीब ही, सबसे ज्यादा अजीब ये वाला डॉक्ट्रिन है. हाउ इट इज, इट्स अ वियर्ड काइंड ऑफ argument given by the employer. In case of death of a workman, they say now he is no more our employee, so why we should pay any compensation to him? He doesn't exist anymore, the person has died. But they forgot that he died because he was working for you. So this doctrine is the worst defense which was put forward by the employer, that the personal action died with the death of the workman. यानी कि हमारी कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं है अगर वो मर जाता है तो. अब जब वो मर ही गया है तो हमसे रिश्ता भी खत्म हो गया एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय का. सो नो पॉइंट ऑफ पेइंग एनी कंपनसेशन टू द वर्कमैन. So all these 4 doctrines, that is doctrine of assumed risk, which means that you have consented to work and you also know the risks associated with working. So if anything happens to you, you are responsible. Second one says doctrine of common employment. Since you are working with other people in the group, so maybe because of their negligence or because of your negligence, you got injured or death case. So why the employer should pay compensation? Third, I already explained, contributory negligence, that you have contributed in your own negligence and because of that you have you got injured or death case. So why the employer should pay compensation? And the third one, as I already told you, that since now the relationship has stopped between the employer and employee because the employee has died, so no point of paying any compensation to the workman. So at the very onset, these, I think, all the doctrines are clear to you students, and these are the basic defenses which were put forward by the employer in order to deny paying compensation to the workman. However, certain other acts were also made, like Fatal Accident 1885, but this was not a very workable kind of. Fatal means the person has died. In this case, this act said, this act was passed to compensate for the loss of life of worker and his dependent were given compensation for the same. But now, in those days, during the time of Britishers, however, this act was made, but it was not very effectively implemented. And secondly, the Employers' Liability Act 1938. This was an act which declared that certain defenses cannot be raised in the suit of damages. If a workman files a suit of damages claiming compensation, then defenses, these kind of defenses which I have already mentioned, which I have explained above, these cannot be raised in order to deny paying compensation to the workman. Now coming to the main objective, you can say, or the main content of the act of workman compensation. The first one says the act considers payment of compensation by an employer to his workmen in case of accident as a measure of relief and special security. So this WC Act, it ensures paying compensation in case of accident एज अ मेजर ऑफ रिलीफ एंड स्पेशल सिक्योरिटी, कि अगर उसे चोट लगी है तो उसे एम्प्लॉयर को सुरक्षा प्रदान की जाएगी, यानी कि उसे कॉम्पनसेशन पे किया जाएगा, क्योंकि वो बंदा एम्प्लॉयर के लिए काम कर रहा था, अपने लिए काम नहीं कर रहा था. तो नेचुरली एम्प्लॉयर की लायबिलिटी बनती है कि काम करने के दौरान अगर उसे चोट लगती है तो एम्प्लॉयर विल बी रेस्पॉन्सिबल पेइंग compensation. So in a way, WC Act ensured that the workman gets or the employee gets his adequate compensation by the implementation of this particular WC Act 1923. This is still continuing. Now it enables the workman to get compensation irrespective of his negligence. This is a very important point. यानी कि उसकी गलती हो या ना हो, अगर उसे चोट लगती है एम्प्लॉयर को कंपनसेशन पे करना पड़ेगा. यानी कि ज्यादातर ये जो दिस एक्ट इज इन फेवर ऑफ द वर्कमैन. दिस इज इन ऑर्डर टू एंश्योर द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ राइट ऑफ अ वर्कमैन, एंड दिस इज वन ऑफ द पायनियरिंग एक्ट यू कैन से. Otherwise, the earlier situation, which we have already discussed just now, they were very apathetic. They were not at all sympathizing with the workman, whether he dies, whether he is injured. They were just minting money and they were not concerned about the welfare of the workman. So this act ensures that the workman gets compensation irrespective of the negligence, चाहे नेग्लिजेंस हो या ना हो. हालांकि आगे जाके आप पढ़ेंगे कि कुछ कंडीशंस है, जैसे किसी ने अल्कोहल पी रखा है और वो काम पे आ गया, उसे चोट लग गई, इन दैट केस ही विल नॉट बी पेड. या नैरकोटिक्स ले रखा है या ड्रग्स ले रखे हैं और वो काम करने आया, उसे चोट लग गई या डेथ होगी, इन दैट केस द एम्प्लॉयर हैज अ राइट नॉट टू गिव कंपनसेशन टू द वर्कमैन. बट अदरवाइज नॉर्मल सिचुएशन में वेदर उसकी नेग्लिजेंस है या नहीं है, he will be paid compensation as per the decision of this particular WC Act. Third is, it ascertains amount of compensation depending upon the type, extent of injury and age of the workman. The criteria for paying compensation, students, to a injured workman will depend upon the type of injury. हाथ टूटा है, पैर टूटा है, आंख में चोट लगी है, सर में चोट लगी है, यानी कि किस तरह का नेचर ऑफ इंजरी है. सबसे पहले इस पर निर्भर करेगा कि कितना कंपनसेशन मिलेगा. दूसरा कंडीशन है एक्सटेंट ऑफ इंजरी, यानी कि कितनी चोट कम या ज्यादा लगी है या डेथ हुई है, इस बात पे निर्भर करेगा, बिकॉज आगे चल के व्हाट आई विल एक्सप्लेन, देयर आर फॉर्मूलाज टू कैलकुलेट डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ इंजरी, जैसे टेम्परेरी इंजरी है, परमानेंट इंजरी है, डेथ केस है, इन सब में अलग अलग फॉर्मूलाज हैं बेस्ड ऑन द एज फैक्टर टू कैलकुलेट कॉम्पनसेशन टू बी पेड टू द वर्कमैन. सो नेचर और टाइप ऑफ द इंजरी क्या है उस पर निर्भर करेगा, एक्सटेंट ऑफ इंजरी कितनी कम या ज्यादा लगी है चोट, एंड द एज ऑफ द वर्कमैन, क्योंकि एज एक ऐसा फैक्टर है जो एक बहुत ही क्रूशल फैक्टर है, विच आई विल फर्दर डिस्कस इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर.